Hello, everybody. Welcome to Make It Monday with Amy and Jim. We're chenilling it. We're making really cute quilt top today using chenille by the yard. Hello. Hello. I'm back. It's been
Yay!
a long 3 weeks, but I'm back, so I'm excited. So this cute little quilt, I think it was just 5-inch squares, right? I had Heather
Yeah.
just piece it real quick, and as always, 10 of us touch a project here.
Yeah.
So I was leaving. I'm like, hey, Jim, do you want to finish that quilt? So basically, it is quilted, stitch in the ditch style, right?
hmm
With the chenille by the yard. And
Yeah.
people don't know what it is. It's chenille it, right?
hmm
So it's, I gotta fix these cameras, they're so bright. But that's the scoop. That's the scoop. So in gym fashion, there was 900 ways to do this. I would just put on a regular foot, but Jim's going to explain the whole process, right, Jim?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, basically, for this method, I just use a regular presser foot,
Okay.
like your wider one. But I did choose one that had a clear toe in it, and I used the Janome M17, and this is their A foot. And what I liked about it is that up here you could see that the center part of it is clear. There's still plastic there to hold the chenille down firmly, but it's clear so I can actually see where I'm sewing and guiding it. So I was able to lay the chenille strips down and just sew right down the center of it.
Right. So the chenille strip is blooming bias. So you get 40 yards. This is the 5/8. It comes 5/8 and 3/8. So I like the 5/8 because you get fluffier. It looks shag ruggy, which is kind of fun. But you get 40 yards for $19. We have a couple different colors here at the store, but it's a great.
Yeah, there was a lot on there.
There was a lot on there, yeah.
And the only thing I did different though was like once I went and did this, and I of course stitch in the ditch, I just laid it center on top and then sew right down the middle of the chenille stem. When I was playing with it a little bit, this has been washed and dried to get it nice and chenille. I thought it could have been a little more dense in the center, so I checked with Lori and Gina and came up with just doing the binding on it. So the binding, I just went and sewed down one piece of chenille tape, and then I did a second layer on top. And that way it gave it a little more fullness to the outside edge.
Right. And really, you took the time to, is this a self-binding? Did it roll in the back?
Yeah, I just rolled it to the front. So I actually rolled it to the front, pinned it in place, and then put the tape on top and then sewed them both down at one time.
Right. So in Amy fashion, I probably just would have run this through my serger, the edges,
Okay.
and put a row of chenille in the back and the front to cover the serger stitches and consider it bound. I wouldn't have.
That works.
It works. Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
All right. So show them the magic. Hi, Patty.
And so this has a double layer on top. And then I was playing because it did take a little longer laying it on top and sewing right on top of it. And I thought, could there be a quicker way? Oh, so could there be like a quicker way to do it as opposed to stacking it, sewing it through, stacking it and sewing again? So I thought, what if I put my ruffler foot on? And I had it put it on with the ruffler foot, just sewing down one time.
Awesome sauce. Well, you're gonna have to show them now, Jim.
Well, yeah.
Because,
so
you do something funky.
Yeah. So I got my M17 set up with the ruffler attachment on it, center needle position. And what I always do when I use my ruffler attachment, I check to make sure my needle is not going to hit. So I'm just going to reposition my needle just slightly.
So what's your settings on your ruffler?
I'm going to have it on number 5. So after every 5th stitch, it will go and do a pleat.
Perfect.
And again, I'm checking to make sure everything's in the center. And then what I did also too was I took the fabric, so I have fabric in the front, back, and batting between. I found that when I was using my ruffler the first time without doing any kind of support, the fabric cupped a little bit. And that's because the fabric was kind of going not as smoothly because it would sew through. And then with that ruffler attachment, it seemed to pull up slightly.
I see what you're saying.
So this way, stabilize it more. So if I don't want it to show, I would maybe sew it with wash away thread, so it would just disappear. But I found by adding a row of stitching on it, it stabilized the base fabric more and just slipped it right under the foot.
So yeah, this is an awesome technique actually, because you're getting the extra thickness out of it.
Yeah, so by doing it like this, it's going to be like a nubby. So it'd be like a single layer, then a triple layer of it. So you're going to make it almost like a little nubbiness to it
Right.
when you wash it.
I don't want to say genius because I got to work with you the rest of my life.
That works. And I'm not sewing terribly fast. I'm letting the machine do all the work. And when I sew to the end, I'll just go ahead and cut my threads. And then I'll just pull it to take it off of the foot. And there you have, whoops.
Right.
It all pleated.
And you can see how flat that is. But if you missed it and brush it with a toothbrush, it lifts. But when you wash it, it really becomes
and
the shag rug effect.
There's the effect of it. So I did 3 rows with it like that. And you can see it's a lot thicker than the first one. And you had that variance of it where it's kind of thick and thin all through it.
Right. I love doing this around appliques. It's an easy way. You're just zigzagging it down around raw edge applique.
Oh, yeah.
Or around big letters for pillows for kids. I just like this because it felt like a great baby texture quilt thing.
Yeah.
And just something that's a little bit of fun and something just a little bit different. But it's an easy way to finish the quilt. Right. So that's kind of what the thing is. Because a lot of times the neighbor's having a baby. I don't want to put 1,000 things into the, into the quilt because it's going to end up in the dog crate. We've all had that experience in our life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's never a pleasant thing. So the only thing I would, like I said, if this was quickie for me, I would serge around my batting and backing after I did my rows, right? My squares, I'd serge around it and I just put a piece top and bottom at the same time. I zigzag it, cover those serger stitches, and it is done. Hello, Miss Bonnie. Hey, Kathy Ann. They're put in the closet and never used, right? That's that's the case. We don't want to talk about like, what do you want to call it? Like gift regret or something, But I remember I made a wedding quilt, and by the time I had it quilted, I probably had $400 or $500 in it realistically, like fabric, quilting, the whole 9 yards.
And your time.
Yeah. So went to the house and visited, and it was in the dog crate. She said, "Oh, the dog loved it and took it for its own." And I think that was the last time I made a quilt, actually. I just gave up. I'm like, I can't handle it. So that's Chenille by the yard. Right. So that's very simple. You're going to find it in quilt shop only type situations. It's not on our website, but if you call, I can give you the color rundown. So it comes in these big rolls. This is 5/8 inch wide, and then there's 3/8 inch wide. So if you're doing like a lot of small applique, like this would be great around, leaves and animals, things that needed texture. But I love it around large letters. Like it really looks good. Yeah, Kathy should never make a quilt after that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hey, Jane and Jeanette.
Everybody's popping on just a little bit late. So we're talking about Chenille by the yard.
Yeah, this was fun.
Right. So if you would please, if you like the technique, gives us a thumbs up, gives us a heart, anything you want to do. And then if you are watching us on Facebook, if you'd subscribe on YouTube, if you're watching us on YouTube, if you'd follow us on Facebook, we would appreciate it because we have some fun things planned here coming up. So don't tell Jim, he doesn't know yet.
I'm scared. I'm very scared.
That's okay. Hi, Leslie. All right, everybody. So if you're just now popping on, you're hitting the rewind button and going back to the beginning because we're doing Chenille It by the Yard. Easy way to quilt and finish a quilt. All right, everybody. Have a great day because the more you know,
the more you sew. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.